The law of attraction. For life is the mirror of king and slave. 'Tis just what you are and do. Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. The old adage that he profits most who serves best is no mere altruism. Look around you. What businesses are going ahead? What men are making the big successes? Are they the ones who grab the passing dollar, careless of what they offer in return? Or are they those who are striving always to give a little greater value, a little more work than they are paid for? For the law of attraction is service. We receive in proportion as we give out. In fact, we usually receive in far greater proportion. Cast thy bread upon the waters, and it will return to you 100-fold. Back of everything is the immutable law of the universe, that what you are but the effect. Your thoughts are the causes. The only way you can change the effect is by first changing the cause. People live in poverty and want because they are so wrapped up in their sufferings that they give out thoughts only of lack and sorrow. They expect want. They open the door of their mind only to hardship and sickness and poverty. True, they hope for something better, but their hopes are so drowned by their fears that they never have a chance. You cannot receive good while expecting evil. You cannot demonstrate plenty while looking for poverty. Blessed is he that expecteth much, for verily his soul shall be filled. The universal mind expresses itself largely through the individual. It is continually seeking an outlet. It is like a vast reservoir of water, constantly replenished by mountain springs. Cut a channel to it, and the water will flow in ever-increasing volume. In the same way, if you once open up a channel of service by which the universal mind can express itself through you, its gifts will flow in ever-increasing volume, and you will be enriched in the process. In the same way, by opening up a channel between universal supply and human needs, by doing your neighbours or your friends or your customers service, you are bound to profit yourself. And the wider you open your channel, the greater service you give, or the better value you offer, the more things are bound to flow through your channel, the more you are going to profit thereby. But you've got to use your talent if you want to profit from it. It matters not how small your service, using it will make it greater. You don't have to retire to a cell and pray. That is a selfish method, selfish concern for your own soul to the exclusion of all others. Mere self-denial or asceticism as such does no one good. You've got to do something, to use the talents God has given you to make the world better for your having been in it. Remember the parable of the talents. You know what happened to the man who went off and hid his talent, whereas those who made use of theirs were given charge over many things. That parable, it has always seemed to me, expresses the whole law of life. The only right is to use all the forces of good. The only wrong is to neglect or to abuse them. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God. This is the first and the greatest commandment. thou shalt show thy love by using to the best possible advantage the good things, the talents of the parable that he has placed in your hands. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. Thou shalt not abuse the good things that have been provided in such prodigality by using them against your neighbour. Instead, thou shalt treat him, or love him, as he would treat you. Thou shalt use the good about you for the advantage of all. If you want more of the universal supply, you must use that which you have in such a way as to make yourself of greater service to those around you. If you want more of the universal supply, you must use that which you have in such a way as to make yourself of greater service to those around you. Whosoever shall be great among you, said Jesus, shall be your minister, and whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. In other words, if you would be great, you must serve, and he who serves most shall be greatest of all. If you want to make more money, instead of seeking it for yourself, see how you can make more for others. In the process, you will inevitably make more for yourself too. We get as we give, but we must give first. Look around you now. How can you give greater value for what you get? How can you serve better? How can you make more money for your employers or save more for your customers? Keep that thought ever in the forefront of your mind, and you'll never need to worry about making more for yourself. The more you think about this law, the deeper you'll see it goes. It literally hands you a blank check signed by the maker of universal law and leaves you to fill in the amount and the kind of payment you want. More than that, I must give to every human being I come in contact with, from my wife to the person who shines my shoes, from my brother to my sworn foe. Sometimes people will tell you to smile, but the smile I give has got to be a real smile that lives up to its advertising. If I go around grinning like a Cheshire cat, the Cheshire cat grin will be what I get back, multiplied. If I give the real thing, I'll get back the real thing, multiplied. If anybody objects that this is a selfish view to take, I answer him that any law of salvation from anything by anybody that has ever been offered for any purpose is a selfish view to take. The only unselfishness that has ever been truly taught is that of giving a lesser thing in hope of receiving a greater. Now, why am I so sure of this law? How can you be sure? I have watched it work. It works everywhere. You have only to try it and keep on trying it, and it will prove true for you. It is not true because I say so, nor because anybody else says so. It is just true. Theosophists call it the law of karma. Humanitarians call it the law of service. Businessmen call it the law of common sense. Jesus Christ called it the law of love. It rules whether I know it or not, whether I believe it or not, whether I defy it or not. I can't break it. Jesus of Nazareth, without reference to any religious idea you may have about him, without consideration as to whether he was or was not divine, was the greatest businessman that ever lived. And he said, "Give, and ye shall receive. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. And this happens to be so, not because he said it, but because it is the truth, which we all, whether we admit it or not, worship as God. No man can honestly say that he does not put the truth supreme. It is the truth, the principle of giving and receiving. Only there are few men who go the limit on it. But going the limit is the way to unlimited returns. What you have, give to everybody. If you have an idea, do not save it for your own use only. Give it. It is the best thing you have to give, and therefore the thing best to give, and therefore the thing that will bring the best back to you. I believe that if a man would follow this principle, even to his trade secrets, he would profit steadily more and more. He would never have to worry about his own affairs because he would be working on fundamental law. Law never fails, and it will be easy for you to discover what is or is not law. And if law is worth using part of the time, it is worth using all the time. Look around you first with an eye to seeing the truth, and then put the thing to the test. Through both methods of investigation, you will find a blank check waiting for you.